Hi everybody and welcome to this live stream. So this is my first time streaming, so hopefully I've got it all right and you can hear me and see me okay. I've got the chat down here, so hopefully if you want to interact with me I'll be able to catch the chat down there. So please do, I definitely want this to be interactive. So today I'm just going to actually talk through this new PC build that I'm actually looking at. So at the moment I have a desktop PC that's about 5 years old now, and it's starting to get a bit sluggish, and the disk space is starting to kind of fill up now, and it definitely is time for a change. And I've been thinking about doing something new with it the last couple of months, but just not really had the motivation. And obviously as we're at home now all the time, having a reliable PC and having something I can use is going to be a good thing. So I'm trying to build something that will be good for video editing, that will be good for photo editing, because I like playing with photos outside of work, as well as doing graphics for a lot of the blogs or the social media posts that I do. And lastly, I want to be able to do a bit of gaming on it. Now, I tend not to game actually on my PC a lot. It's more my husband that actually does the gaming on the PC. I've got a PlayStation 4 that I game on. He likes to game things like Football Manager, and I think it's called Starter's Orders, which is like a horse management gaming program. And the gaming is just a secondary function of the PC, so it's not a massive concern at the moment for me. So I've got a spec of a PC, so I'm going to pull that up and share that with you, and I want to see if anybody's got any comments or suggestions or questions about what I've been picking, and I'm going to walk you through it. So we're going to actually start off, I've always been an Intel fangirl. That's always what my PCs that I've built. I've been building PCs for probably about 15 odd years. Some successful, some not. Some I've had to ask others for help with. But I've always built them around Intel CPUs. I've never really been a fan of AMD. Stayed away from them because the price point just wasn't great in previous years. But now, actually looking at the market, the AMD processors are starting to actually make a dent in the pricing and actually offer a massive kind of functionality point of view. When I first started looking at the CPU, and I've been building my PC around the CPU, I was actually looking at doing the previous generation AMD 2700 because it was the 8-core processor, and the price point looked actually quite enticing. However, once I did that build and got to the end of it, I actually looked at where I could tweak and change things and make it better without bursting the budget, and actually looking at using the AMD 3700X, it wasn't actually much of a price jump. It wasn't much of a stretch to actually go to that next generation and actually go to the current generation. So the system is being built around this 3700. So it's got 8 cores and 16 threads. I think my current PC, which is an Intel i5, has like 4 cores and 4 threads. So it'd be quite a jump for me, but it'll be good for video editing, photo editing, and just general browsing, and just generally using that PC. It might even be used for streaming if I find out that streaming's something that I want to do. Now, the price at the moment on Amazon, and I've done a bit of searching around different retailers to try and find the best price versus price and shipping to try and make this the best for my budget. At the moment, it's looking like Amazon's going to be the supplier, but again, I'll be looking once I do all this to try and find a decent supplier and make sure that the budget's being used effectively. So the next component I'm using is the motherboard, and I'm going with the MSI B450 Gaming Pro Carbon. And I'm going with that one. I originally had the B450 just listed, but then I had on top of that a Wi-Fi card, and I found out that there was a B450 with actual Wi-Fi built into it. So this motherboard here comes with the Wi-Fi actually built into part of the motherboard, so you don't have to add a second adapter, and it also has the Bluetooth technology built into that Wi-Fi adapter, so it's like dual, and you can use that for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So I think that's a great price point, and looking at the price point as well, it's great for when been able to do that in the functionality, and it keeps the additional parts that I have to add to the PC down. It also has some RGB, so some lighting built into it. Now, my PC at the moment is tucked away. It's an all black case that I've got. It's got no lighting on it. It's got, you can't even see through it actually. All 4 sides are solid black. This new one that I'm going to be building, although having lighting and fancy lighting isn't something that I primarily went for. I actually I've got a couple of components that are going to have some lights on them, so I'll be able to play around with them. For the memory, I'm going for 32 gig. At the moment, my current PC's got 8 gig of RAM, and that absolutely, definitely is not enough for what I use it for and for every day nowadays. I'm going for the Team Nighthawk. Like I said, I'm going for 32 gig. I've looked at various different combinations to get 32 gig, and I think this one's actually quite a good price point and gives me a good functionality and speed as well. It also has some RGB built into it, so it's got that light functionality. And having a look at what my motherboard can do, my motherboard can actually control the lighting on the memory, so I can get that all in sync if I wanted to do that. After that, I'm looking at storage. So this has been a lot of toing and froing for me. At the moment, I've got an SSD as my operating system drive, and it's not enough. It was 250 gig. At the time when I built it 5 years ago, it was absolutely enough, and for the price point, it was actually quite good, and it gave me such a benefit in terms of speed and functionality. But now things have moved on, and I definitely need more storage space for my OS and my storage. I've got lots of video files, photo files, music, various different stuff storage over the years stored on my hard drive, so I really need quite a chunky bit of storage. Now, for my OS drive, I'm going to go for this Toshiba RDE 5000, which is an M2 solid state drive. I did originally have the Samsung 970 that everybody seems to put into their builds, but actually looking at the price point, it's quite expensive over here at the moment in the UK, and I didn't think it was worth it. When I actually looked at the specs versus this Toshiba, I think the read is just a bit slower. The write is much slower than the Samsung one, but for the price point, I don't think it's worth it. I think I'm going to get I think this is going to be good enough for my needs and without busting my budget. The next 2 drives, the Western Digital solid state drive, is just kind of a working drive, so it's a 1 terabyte, and that's going to be where I'll probably install a lot of my programs, install some of the stuff, use it maybe if I want fast video editing. And then I've got another Toshiba, and I'm swaying between the 3 terabyte and the 4 terabyte traditional HDD disk, so spinning rust, as some people call it, just for storage. Like I said, I'm twisting between the 3 terabyte and the 4 terabyte, so that'll be the 3 disks I have inside the PC. In terms of the video card, I did have something else listed here. I was going to purchase a graphics card, but to be honest, like I said at the start of this film, it's not my forefront for great gaming, this PC build. The graphics card that we currently have, which is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970, actually works really well for the games that my husband plays, and kind of works well for, you know, what I do in terms of browsing and stuff. So I'm actually going to reuse that. So I'm going to take it out my current PC and put it into the new one. Then I'll probably evaluate maybe in a couple of months' time whether to get another graphics card, whether to upgrade it, whether what I'm looking for and how I'm going to use this. So yeah, I'm reusing that graphics card. I'm also actually going to reuse the DVD drive that is in my current PC. So my current PC has a DVD drive in it. Again, I actually use that for gaming. So one of my games, Farming Simulator, actually was a traditional game I purchased in a box with a DVD. So it needs that. So I definitely need a DVD drive to continue doing my Farming Simulator game. But I'm not going to buy a new one. That one I can just rip out the old case and put it into the new one. Which was actually tricky to decide, because most modern cases now don't actually come with DVD drop slots. They don't have that 5 1/4 inch space. anymore, which was quite astounding actually, because I always thought that was something that was core and key to what everybody did and what everybody used, but obviously not. So I had a limited choice of cases that I could pick. I'm going with this Corsair 110RTX kind of mid-tower case, and if I switch over to the picture here actually, this isn't a great picture of it, but it's got everything that I needed and want in it. So it's got a bit for the PSU, so it can tidy it away. It's got some great cable management. It's got that 5.25-inch drive that I need for my DVD drive. On the flip side, what you can't see on the back of that panel is the bit for the storage, and the hard disks as well go in the bottom. So, and they go in the bit here as well. So that's quite good, so I can actually do some cable management, and this side will be perspex, so you'll be able to see that lighting, and I definitely need to do cable management if people can see through this. It only comes with one fan, so it's only got 120mm fan included in it, which is going to be at the back here. So like my current PC, I think I have about 520mm fans or 140, I'm not sure, I need to measure them. So I can actually strip some of those out once I finish with that PC and put them in here. But I'm actually going to order 2 120mm fans, the Arctic P12s. They're relatively cheap, and obviously keeping my PC cool and making sure airflow is working properly is something that I actually want to make sure I do right. So spending £16-17 on some new fans is probably worthwhile. And like I said, I can pull out fans from the current case and put them into this new case once I'm ready to do that. So as you can see, I've been sourcing different parts from different suppliers. I need to make sure that I budget correctly and don't spend too much on shipping on top of the price of the actual component, because that's just going to blow the budget and be inefficient, and I want to have as little parcels coming to me as well, currently with obviously the situation, so I don't want delivery drivers coming with different parcels. At the moment I've got this sitting around £974 or £975. That's without the graphics card. Obviously I'm going to be reusing that graphics card. And probably one of the other things that I should have called out is I'm not using a third-party CPU fan or CPU cooler. A lot of people have said that the one that comes with the AMD now, especially the 3700, the stock CPU cooler is absolutely fine. It comes RGB as well, so it's got lighting built into it as well. So to be honest, I'm going to run it with that CPU cooler and see how it works, see how it runs, and then make a decision. CPU coolers are fairly inexpensive, and there's quite a lot of selection out there at the moment. So I'll run the stock one, see how it runs in terms of temperature, see how it runs in terms of noise. I think a few people have said that the AMD kind of stock cooler is a bit noisy, but to be honest, that's something that's subjective, right? Noise is something that everybody hears differently and conveys differently as either really noisy or not. So again, that'll be something that I'll look at in the future. This is kind of what I've been toying with. I've been toying with it for the past maybe 4 or 5 days and tweaking it to change everything and try and get to within a decent budget point. So yeah, this is probably what I'm going to be buying. Hopefully I'll get the okay from the husband and he won't reject what I'm going to do. But overall, I think this is probably going to be quite a good PC build. It probably future-proofs me for a lot of things, and certainly is going to be used in the next couple of months or weeks while we're all at home in this current state that we're in. So if anybody's got any comments, any suggestions, any gotchas that I've missed or not thought about, actually on this list, I've just realised I've not got a PSU on this list. That's a good one. That's a good one to actually work through. So my PSU, I'm actually going with a Seasonic. yeah, I'll need to add that. So that's going to change that budget quite a bit. So there is a PSU that's going to go on this. As I said, it's a Seasonic that I've picked. So I definitely need to add that into the budget and change that actually. So I think I'm going for a 600 watt or a 550 or 600 watt PSU here, which will be semi-modular as well. So yeah, that's a good one. It's a good job I did this, because otherwise I would have been ordering all that and then tried to put this together and had no a PSU. So yeah, the PSU is a Seasonic, so I'll need to dig out the details for that. But yeah, if anybody's got any comments or questions, please do reach out to me. And if you've got any feedback on this live stream, the quality or the content, whatever, please do reach out to me. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and stay safe everybody, and I'll see you soon.